Hello again. We're ready to do Unit 2, Section 3 notes now. There's a long explanation about deaf culture and different words that are appropriate to call deaf people, so I would encourage you to read that in the notes. The first thing I'm going to talk about today is the signed question mark. Looks like this, little X that wiggles. I often think of this as like, huh? So, the signs below are all versions of this same sign to ask that we talked about in the last section. This sign comes from the shape of a question mark. It's not signed at the end of every question, but it is used to emphasize when a question is being asked and that the signer wants you to respond. It's like saying, at the end of a question to make sure that it's clear that you're asking. It can also be used alone. If you don't understand what something means, you can do this with your confused eyebrows going, huh? Really? Is that true? So, ask, closing to an X or opening to the 1, is directional, like we talked about before, so it follows the rules of directionality. So, I can also use it to be used multiple times with both hands with my eyebrows up, meaning, do you have any questions? If I'm teaching or explaining something, questions? So, how to directionalize this? I ask you, and again, I use the open version. If you ask it like this and keep it closed in the X, that's fine also. I ask you ask me, or you ask me. I ask everybody. You all ask me. I can also ask another person. They can ask me. They can ask you. Those things. A couple of sentences for this one. Did you ask him? You asked him? Don't ask me. And another way to use this sign is, did you turn the lights off? Next, some vocabulary, making conversation. Eat or food. Eat or food. Hungry, to be hungry. It's our C hand shape, slides down to show the big gaping hole inside when you're hungry. Hungry. Ready. You can move it like this once emphatically. I'm ready. You can ask with your eyebrows up with the question. Everybody ready? You can be ready to go, and some people will sign it ready to go like this. Again, it's kind of like windshield wipers. Some people do in and out. Some people go side to side. Restaurant is an R, taps on either side of your chin. Restaurant. And if you go closer to out or out to closer, whichever side feels most comfortable to start with is fine. With or together. With or together. So some sentences for that. I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Are you ready? Are you hungry? Do you want to eat at a restaurant? Ask them, do you want to practice ASL with you? All right. Next, questions versus closing signals. So simple ASL sentences are typically completed with deixis at the end to show you've finished your thought or questions. This is not necessary, but it is typically done. The question mark sign, ask a question, at the end can show that the signer is asking a question. So the question mark is best used informally, between friends and people who don't know each other well. It's not for questions like WH questions, who, what, when, why, where, all of that. It's often used to ask general questions to more than one person and allows them to propose a question whose answer can be provided by anyone. I'm not asking a specific person. I'm not directing my focus. So I'll ask the question at the end to make sure it's clear that I'm not looking at the person right in front of me. I'm asking the general group. Other closing signals are required for sentences and questions like the WH questions, because if you have not signed your WH question at the end, you will typically add the question or at the end. In ASL, the WH questions are typically at the end, but if you're signing in a more English word order, you can either repeat the WH question at the end, or you can add the question at the question mark at the end to make it clear that you're asking a question. And this is best used in formal situations between strangers or acquaintances and in student-teacher relationships. It also allows you to ask specific questions to a specific person. So, the book was made when, and I'll sign asking you at the end. So, next is some vocabulary about the days of the week. So, this requires you to remember your letters for the alphabet for these days. So, the first sign is Monday, and we use the open M hand shape. So this is close or regular M. You can see my thumb is here. But open M, my fingers pop up. So because it's really difficult to see backwards with what letter I'm signing, I have my fingers up to kind of show that it is Monday. And I do a little circle, moving counterclockwise. Monday. Tuesday is the letter T, turned around. Tuesday, and you can pop that one finger up if you want to a little bit. Not all the way up, just a little bit. Tuesday. Wednesday is the letter W, turned around. Wednesday. And I usually use this W for Wednesday. Wednesday. Thursday, we've already used T, so we're going to start with T, and then we're going to move it around real quick to the H. The H is going to do the circle, so Thursday. Thursday. Friday is the F, turned backwards and circling. Saturday is an S, turned backwards and circling. Sunday, we've already used S, and Sunday is the wonderful day. Typically, this was the day traditionally that people went to church, so this was signed Sunday. Sunday. There is another variation of these, which is signing with the hand facing forward. I prefer the palm back version. That's the signs that I've learned and always signed, but you will see people sign it with the palm out, so I'll show you those real quick too. Monday, Tuesday, and they do more of an up around as opposed to a circle that way. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Really hard for me to do those. All right, now some vocabulary about activities. So as we build our vocabulary and as we go through this curriculum, we're adding more and more things that we're able to talk about. So you can chat or hang out. Kind of an open, I'm going to push my pinky forward a little bit. Chat, hang out, chat, hang out. What to do, what are you doing? This is with this D, one finger D as opposed to this D, and your index finger comes down. What to do, what are you doing? Another version is just this. They've dropped this initial finger and are just down to doing, looks like the sign 20 upside down. But what are you doing? What do you want to do? What to do? So the sign, it's looking like the letters D-O real quick, upside down, and you put your eyebrows down to ask the question. What do you want to do? What should we do? To enjoy, to find something pleasurable. So my right hand is on top, moving to my left. My left hand is the bottom, moving to my right. So I move them in and out together. Enjoy. Both hands are important for this because this is a sign please with only my right hand. My other hand, which is down here that you can't see, but two hands, enjoy. To kick back, to relax, to chill. It looks like it's the sign for like calm or settle, so everything's calm and settled down. To play sports, to compete. So this is your two thumbs are trying to see who's going to be in front of each other. Back and forth, they twist. Sports, compete. Yesterday, it's a good little time sign here. Yesterday starts closer and moves back towards your ear. The past tense signs are signed moving towards the back. So you can start with this A that's it's called A dot hand. Or you can, I've also seen it many times and signed it myself with the Y hand for yesterday. So you can sign yesterday like this or yesterday like that. Church, as in the rock or the stone is founded on the rock. Church, taps with a C. And then because we made that church, we went with a bunch of other names too. So temple, is a T that taps. Synagogue is an S that taps. Mosque is an M that taps. There are other signs for mosque, and this sign for temple is used for Jewish people and other Eastern religions like Buddhists, Hindu people who have temples. The only one that is different is the LDS people. Their temple is signed like this. So another sign for mosque is like this, showing the minaret, and then at the top the crescent moon. Mosque. And then there's the mashup version with the still on the back of the hand, but with the crescent moon hand shape. Mosque. I think that one's kind of cool. Mosque. The deaf Muslim community is relatively more recent in the United States, and as the deaf people here have gotten together and developed more signs, these signs have a lot of variations and could be different based on the region where you are. So make sure if you interact with the deaf Muslim community to follow the signs that they prefer. All right. And I am going to wrap this up here and continue in the next video for this.